Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. It's the best time of year. College basketball is back, and we are sitting down with Maryland head coach Brenda Frese. Thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's that time of year.
I was going to say, so much excitement going on just in this room alone. Back for your 22nd season. That alone, you hear the number 22. What comes to mind when you hear like that number?
I'm grateful. Yeah, I know when I first came here to Maryland, I was this young, just wondering if I was good enough. Could I get a contract extension? And now all of a sudden you're going into year 22 and just so excited about another season with just an incredible team to help mold.
Well, you said this is essentially your favorite time of year. You're putting the pieces together. What about this process is so fun and so rewarding?
Just the development piece, to see where you're at usually in the fall, and you're all trying to kind of blend it all together. It's not the prettiest early, and then to watch it unfold as the season goes on. And March is typically when we're peaking and just trying to get consistent, but just love the journey with your team.
Yeah, well, always a good time to be peaking when it comes down to March.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about the makeup of this team. Of course, you had mentioned you lost two WNBA players in Diamond Miller and Abby Myers. You can't replace players like that, but you are bringing back a lot of talent. So what can you tell people about this team?
Well, I love our blend. So we have, 4 grad seniors. So you've got tremendous veteran leadership. You bring back a Cheyenne Sellers, who has had 2 phenomenal years with us, and then youthful bliss with your freshmen, who are all really talented. So practices are competitive, but we're going to be a lot deeper this season. So that's the exciting part.
And it sounds like a lot of the same girls on this team, they're going to be taking on bigger responsibilities. You mentioned Cheyenne, you mentioned Renee. How is that going? It sounds like it's going to be a season where the wealth is shared, essentially.
It will be, and within that, we've had players that have waited in the shadows with those 2 pros, and so now it's their turn. You hand that baton over, and they have that experience under them, and now is their time to shine.
When it comes to the freshman class, you said they're coming in hungry, and that's not always something you get with freshmen. Usually they're timid, they're kind of waiting for their turn, but to come in kind of guns blazing, what does that mean for a program?
I love it for them. They're confident, they're competitive, they're hungry, they're extremely motivated, they want to be coached, and that bodes well. When you talk about having freshmen that potentially you're going to be able to lean upon as the season unfolds.
And just one word that comes to mind when I look at this program is consistency. I mean, you've done it over the last 22 years, but to have a freshman group come in, be able to mesh with a veteran group, is that kind of the recipe for success here, being able to kind of just keep the rotating door of players moving?
It definitely helps with your consistency, and I think because of our veteran leadership, they've helped that, and I think that our freshmen have all come in with an ownership of being prepared, being very hardworking.
Veteran leadership doesn't always come right away, but it does when you get a player like Jakia coming in the door, another grad transfer. What is she going to be able to bring to this team?
She's going to bring so much. Jakia was someone we recruited in high school, so someone I know extremely well and really talented. All she knows how to do is win. She's had a winning career when she was at NC State, and such a versatile guard for us that is going to be able to impact both ends of the floor.
And when it comes to last preseason, you said it was more of a daunting time just because you didn't know really what to expect with the team preseason moving into the season. This year it sounds like there is more, I don't want to use the word hope, but maybe a little more structure there and things to look forward to. But then you look at a season like last, you make it to an Elite Eight, something perhaps nobody expected. So when you look at that and then the potential of this team this year, expectations are exactly where?
Expectations are always high at Maryland. I think the schedule to begin with is harder this year than it was last year. So, we're really going to lean on those vets that they're going to have to really step up to understand when you're playing back-to-back, top 5, top 10 opponents. But it all prepares us for March, for conference play, for what lies ahead. So super excited, and know that we're ready.
Well, you mentioned a tough schedule. I know your first 2 away games, UConn and South Carolina. Battle-tested is one word I guess you can use for this team and this schedule moving forward. But again, looking forward to March, how is that going to prepare your team?
2 elite level teams in our game on the road. So you're going to be tested. You're going to find out what you're good at, what you need to work on really early in the season. So, those are just tremendous opportunities for us. And, this is what players, they want to play against the best. If you want to be the best, you got to continue to compete against the best that are out there.
Well, last season, of course, you never want to end a season the way going out before a championship, but to make it to an Elite Eight, again, in a season where expectations, you didn't know exactly where they were, but so much hope and so much pride for those girls to be on that team last year, and then a lot of returners again to come back this year. Is that game with South Carolina something that's still thought about, still talked about, used as a motivating factor? Kind of how does that game stack up?
I think as competitors, you're always going to use it to motivate you, and I think our players did that in the off season. We are aware that we're both two very different teams this year, with their loss of graduation of their players as well as ours. So it's a new team, new roster, new season for everyone. So both teams have a lot of respect for one another. So just understanding what it's going to take to be able to compete in that game.
Well, to be able to stand at the podium and say every one of your returners has come back better, of course not something every coach can say each and every year, but to be able to say it this year, what does that say about this group of girls to take the initiative?
They're motivated. We really felt like we were going to go to a Final Four and beyond last year. We were in that rhythm, and I think they all took that to heart in their off season. It shows as they've come back even better. So now utilizing that experience that we took into the off season and now into the season.
Well, you personally, a championship, countless Big Ten championships, players that have gone on to the WNBA. In your 22nd season, what keeps you motivated as a head coach?
The journey. I want anything and everything for our players, for our staff, our support staff, because like you said, I have experienced it all when you've hoisted that trophy, but you want it for everyone else. And I think to me, it's the journey to be able to work and impact 18 to 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds each and every day is the reason why you do it.
Yeah, well, we applaud you on the success so far, and good luck this season. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay with us. More ToyotaSports.com coming your way in just a few minutes.